Hey, Rip the Realtor here, and I believe business owners have a bigger responsibility than just being good businessmen and women and making money. I believe we have a responsibility to the greater good in our community. God has blessed some of us with time and with some of us with money, some of us both, but both of those blessings can change the lives of the people around us. In fact, most of us have something that we can give, and I'm a firm believer in people investment. That's why I serve on the board of a nonprofit called Four Corners. So check this out. There's a lot of kids in our communities who haven't had the opportunities or support systems that you may have had. And because of that, there's a lot of kids who end up in the juvenile detention system. And there's a lot of kids who continue to go back to the juvenile detention system and eventually prison. In fact, 80% of kids who get caught up in the juvenile detention system go back and will eventually end up in prison. But what if I told you there's an organization who's trying to end those statistics? An organization who's providing character education, job readiness training, and employment and internship opportunities. That's what Four Corners does. Recently, they took some kids to the Technology Center in Atlanta, and their tour guide who worked there shared his story. It's very similar to the kids who came on the tour. And so later that day, one of our volunteers received a message from a 13-year-old kid who was on the tour. He told them how he had planned an armed robbery with his friends and how he had actually canceled it after his experience at the Technology Center. It was the first time that he was told that someone like him had options, that he could go down a path that led to a successful career. He had never even considered that was a possibility for him. There was another evening when some of our students were practicing their job interview skills. And so we had a Chick-fil-A owner helping with some of the interviews. He ended up being so impressed with one of the students that he ended up giving them a job right on the spot. And that was just supposed to be for practice. So Four Corners is literally changing the trajectory of kids' lives, from potentially a life in prison to being a thriving, contributing, loving adult who serves their community. So here's what I'm asking. Would you consider joining our 30 for 30 movement? We want to add 30 people who are willing to give $30 a month. That's less than 10 trips to Starbucks a month. It's nothing. But that $30 could literally change a kid's life. So please consider it. And I'm about to make a huge deal with you. For every person who's willing to make that commitment, I'll give them $50 off any house of their choice. You can't beat that deal. So please reach out to me for more details on becoming a part of our 30 for 30. Thanks, y'all. God bless. Love you.